It's a pleasure to welcome you again to another day to go through the newspapers again. It's another day to let you know what is happening in our dear country, Nigeria. How are we doing this morning? Top of the morning to you. Welcome to Price Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM IBADAN. Thank you very much for staying tuned. On Press Drive this morning, I have the Punch, the Nation and the Daily Post newspapers. I'll start with the headlines before we move to details of the stories we want to look at this morning. We're live on Facebook at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live, at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us, and if you want to react to the stories this morning, do feel free to drop a comment right there. Also, remember you can be a part of the conversation by calling the studio lines also. When it's time, I'll open them up. Welcome to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM IBADAN. I am your driver this morning. ESTHER ATILOLA is my name. Welcome on board. I'll start with the headlines of the Punch newspaper this morning, and then we'll move to the headlines of that of the Daily Post. 8 court spending. Our church attackers have ties to Al-Shabaab, says DSS. Our church attackers have ties to Al-Shabaab, says DSS. Yoruba elders wedding as Alaafin Oni feud escalates. Yoruba elders wedding as Alaafin Oni feuds escalates. Ex-NNPCL spokesman canvasses tax relief for media houses. Ex-NNPCL spokesman canvasses tax relief for media houses. Ogun APC suspends Benga Daniel, loyalist over anti-party activities. Ogun APC suspends Benga Daniel. 1 million girls in literacy drive. Federal government targets 500,000 out-of-school children. 1 million girls in literacy drive. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, Governor Abiodun seeks Chinese investment in mineral exploration. Abiodun seeks Chinese investment in mineral exploration. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, court blocks ex-NNPCL bosses account. Government 10 million naira loan gears up for protests. ASU rejects federal government's 10 million naira loan, gears up for protests. Pension prospect, says foreign minister. Ladoja shows Olubadan in Council of Inclusivity. OM backs military on repentant terrorist reintegration. IOM backs military on repentant terrorist reintegration. By-election winners get certificate of return Thursday, says INEC. By-election winners get certificate of return Thursday, says INEC. Oborewori okays 10 billion naira to clear Delta pension arrears. Oborewori okays 10 billion naira to clear Delta pension arrears. Last set of headlines on the Punch newspaper includes new tax laws will benefit self-employed Nigerians, says Dawn. Finally, to the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Hungry masses, Nigerians reject pay rise for Tinubu, Shetima, Akpabio, others. That is one of the top headlines on the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Hungry masses, Nigerians reject pay rise for Tinubu, Shetima, Akpabio, others. Nigeria is down. Nigeria is down. Showore kicks as DSS reportedly screens SAN designate. Others. Imo government regulates use of textbooks, bans graduation ceremonies in nursery, and others. NANS condemns assault on NYC members in Anambra, demands swift investigation. I'm ashamed, heartbroken. Peter Obi reacts to assault on NYC lady in Anambra State. Now to the politics section of the Daily Post newspaper. I will wrap up with as garbage. Wike dismisses Amechi's comment on ending corruption in 1 month as garbage. Wike still speaking. $17.51 trillion naira they had budgeted for capital expenditure in the 2025 fiscal year. Now, this budget performance of those figures is about 15.7 expenditure target in the first half of 2025. Now, the underperformance has delayed critical infrastructure projects and deepened hardship for citizens who rely on improved roads, schools, hospitals, and water systems. Okay, this headline says capital project crumble as state cut spending. It's a report from the Punch newspaper. Now, let me add this to it, and then we'll start with that. Governors' opportunities in the 36th state. Okay, now the governors drew attention to untapped investment opportunities across the state and urged potential investors to unlock them for the nation's prosperity. Okay, so governors moved to attract more foreign direct investment, and capital projects crumble as states cut spending. So let's put these two stories together first.
Oh, well, from where you stopped, I don't know. I'm yet market. So they are playing field. You know, they have to construct a model school there because they want a model school. Why not school everywhere? In fact, what you call school is not seriously built in most cases. Is the teachers. In fact, in those days, do you know that they even learn under the tree? So the output is what matters. Though smart school is important anyway, but of course, not when so many are disenfranchised. In fact, primary school, you are not supposed to even board a vehicle before you get to the nearest primary school. That is the way it is done. Now, that is why it has to be a function of the local government. But you don't get that. So, how about healthcare? In fact, these days, most of the state government will come on here and tell us that government has no business in doing business. Meanwhile, federal government is the 100% shareholder of NMPC. Is that not business? So why can't you get your own? Some states are having the drive, Go to Niger State. I keep citing that man Bago there, he merely went out and bring, an agric investors, employing more than 500,000 people to work in the farm, acquiring, leasing farms, from the farmers, and making them to work in the farm. And what they cannot even get ordinarily from their farm, that's what they get monthly, as a salary. Some get as much, especially at this time when the global economy seems to be crumbling and America seems to be distorting the economic space on the planet Earth. So, in Africa today, it is so prevalent that most of our government, they are not up and doing. According to AFDB, Africa is losing over 580 billion annually due to corruption and illicit capital outflow. Money laundering. That is what they do. And of course, the debt in Africa today stands as about $2 trillion. So, and that's why I'm afraid, because the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation and Fiscal Commission, they are now reviewing the allocation, they are reviewing the allocation formula in such a manner that the state and local government will get more. And I doubt, when they get more, what are they going to do with it? It's not going to be a free kind of spending free for them. Opportunity for our governors and our legislators to start embarking on illicit constituency projects. Somebody let me shock you. I think in Sanfora, a particular lawmaker was it's for constituency project. He was renovating 80 graves in the cemetery. And that happened to be that's what they do. They just think irrationally and start spending on unproductive, elements across the state. So, like I keep saying, yes, the coastal road is important, it's good, but it's a luxurious project, not seriously what we need as at now. So it is when you are belleful that you start thinking of planting an ornamental tree. If you are hungry, go and plant it. Go and
following concerns that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated. The chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mohammed Shehu, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday. Now, Shehu noted that President Bola Tinubu presently earns 1.5 million naira monthly, while ministers receive less than 1 million naira, figures that have remained unchanged since 2008. He said, and I'm quoting it, "You are paying the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1.5 million naira a month. With a population of over 200 million people, everybody believes that it is a joke," he said. He further argued that the disparity between political office holders and heads of federal agencies was unjustifiable, pointing out that some agency chiefs earn up to 20 times more than ministers or even the Attorney General of the Federation. However, the move has stirred fresh controversy in the country, where it has reopened debate about leadership, public trust, and the true cost of governance in Africa's largest democracy. Okay?
In fact, everything you need to spend money on is what the government approves from it. That's what, that's what we bought for our president. He needed an aircraft. Did you not buy one? Even when we are crying that we are hungry, did you not buy it? So, are we talking about, how about other privileges? How about ESTHER codes? The more you travel, the more you get money. How about free access for you to health at the expense of the poor masses? For you and your family, even for life, even when you're out of office. So, what is basic salary at us? What you are talking about? In fact, some of them will even prefer that they don't even get that basic salary at all. So, because, what they rely on are those privileges, and all those goodwills that are attached to the office. In fact, if you care, tell them that you are not even giving them anything. They'll be contented because of the access to the commonwealth of the people. So anyway, be that as it may, that body will tell you when you leave office, this is the percentage of your surveillance allowance. But contrary to that, state governments will now sit. I mean, the legislation will now sit and legislate. Say, okay, by the time our president leaves, yes, he will have access to 2 cars every year. MAFAC has not recommended the MAFAC that is statutory responsible to do that. They will do that. Okay, look at another one. That body says that, okay, this is your what do you call it now? Your constituency allowance, which is meant for maintaining your constituency office and the officers there. That is what is there. But the legislators among themselves, especially at the national level, will now allocate money for sonar intervention, for sonar projects, duplicating their roles. In fact, allocating to themselves the jobs of the executives, because they are not supposed to build roads, they are not supposed to build that is not their schedule. Their schedule is legislative duty, oversight functions, looking at the budget, and all that. That is just their schedule. And all that. That is just their schedule. They are not. In fact, it is criminal for them. Obasanjo keeps saying that. Though he was the founding father of that kind of atrocities. Anyway. But he keeps saying that the legislative arm of government is a den of criminals. Because he knows them. But of course, they cannot deny that. Because they are the consultant of the constitution. Let them show us. It is not your consultant schedule. You are not a big deal. You are not to execute anything. You are not an executor by the virtue of constitution. You are a legislator. Why should a legislator go ahead and begin to execute project? It is unlawful. But then we keep doing that. So those are the things we need to concentrate on. When there is a set of law that is, entrusted in your care, then of course you have the power of oversight function. Then of course they should be given the ability to even prosecute. But can you prosecute somebody who nominated you? And that's why I said the people that are going there should, be independent. They shouldn't be people that are nominated by the president, because they will keep in the business of the people. But I enjoy something they are about to do again. Yes, that is one of the things we have been talking about. The reworking of the revenue allocation formula, a reduction in money that is accruable to the federal government. That's about 52.6% of whatever that comes in. So now you see, most of the schedule from the executive power have been moved to the residual list. So, and if that is done, yes, it means that the money federal government is getting has to reduce. So they are about doing that, so that yes, the federal government will get less, more will come to the state, more will come to the local government level. And I keep saying it, that most local government will be down to zero should they execute the judgment of this of the Supreme Court. So, but now that they are doing this, maybe the local government will have the capacity to begin to execute projects. They begin to live up to expectation. They begin to serve the yearning of the local community. Should they get more? I think I enjoy that. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. All right. Let's come to deepening ties with Nigeria and another country. And I start with this particular one. It says, Nigeria to demand reform of global financial system. Nigeria will leverage the ongoing Tokyo International Conference on African Development in Yokohama, Japan, to deepen diplomatic and economic partnerships with Japan and African nations participating in the summit. Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga, who spoke to reporters ahead of yesterday's commencement of the conference, also said that the country will push for reforms in the global financial system. Beyond finance, Tuga explained that Nigeria will expand its $1 billion trade volume with Japan by exploring new areas such as agricultural export and strengthening collaboration with the Japan International Cooperation Agency and the Japan External Trade Organization. He added that with at least 17 African heads of government in attendance, Nigeria would use that particular conference to galvanize support for its bid for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council and positions in other global institutions, including the International Court of Justice and the International Maritime Organization. So that headline says Nigeria to demand reform of global financial system. Now, this next one, let's join it together. Nigeria and Czech Republic to deepen defense ties. Nigeria and the Czech Republic have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening strategic defense ties, with both sides expressing optimism about the benefit of their growing bilateral cooperation. According to a statement issued on Tuesday by Mati Ali, personal assistant on media and publicity to the Minister of Defense, Badar Abubakar, gave the assurance while receiving a high-level Czech delegation led by the Junior Deputy Minister of Defense, Radka Kondelova, in his office in Abuja. Okay, he commended the Czech Republic's continued engagement with Nigeria, describing it as a clear demonstration of friendship and all. And then also, Minister Badaru said, and I'm quoting it, the partnership goes beyond visit. It is about building lasting frameworks that will strengthen. So Nigeria, Czech Republic, deepen defense ties. And Nigeria, Japan, and other African countries to deepen partnership when it comes to economy. So let's look at that.
Now, why is so unfortunate anyway?
Unfortunate?
Yeah, so unfortunate because by now we are still thinking. Not talking of what we have achieved. We are still thinking. Especially when it comes to trade. In Nigeria, you need to understand by history, palm kernel was taken from Nigeria down to Malaysia. Malaysia now produces palm tree. In fact, palm oil happen to be their mainstay. Go there and check out what is called palm at the opening of that particular machine. It's the rice today. So we are still importing. I mean, how about wheat? Well, maybe Bago now from Niger State is selling us that. Maybe in the next 2 years, that Niger State alone will supply all the wheat need of Nigeria. But today we are still importing wheat. So, go and check it out. Our sugar, a whole lot of things. We have all those things. In fact, we should be dominating the world as we are speaking. So what is happening? Every year out, we are going to diversify so that crude oil will not be we will not be running Dutch disease economy in such a manner that we won't be monolistic economy. What have we achieved? What are those competitive output from Nigeria to the international market? And that's why your naira will keep falling every day, because you are shortchanged. You shortchange yourself. Okay, look at it. On your state, as it were, is a bit less in time of land size than the Netherlands, the whole country of Netherlands. It's a bit bigger than Oyo State. In fact, lesser than Kaduna State. In fact, lesser than Kaduna State. The Netherlands, what Netherlands supply annually? Meanwhile, the whole lot of Africa does not supply that. So, what's the irony? What's wrong with the black man, for God's sake? So, as a country, we should be dominating the world in terms of agriculture. In fact, it was the only by the designate. It's from him that I heard that even palm oil refinery brings money even more than what you call crude oil refineries. This money even more than what you call crude oil refineries. And he analyzed that, and I got it. For God's sake, what is wrong with us? Go to Cross River State now. They are having what you call and he analyzed that, and I got it. For God's sake, what is wrong with us? Go to Cross River State now. They are having what you call coconut refinery. They planted, miles of coconut, and they now they've done a refinery, and now what they are now doing is exporting that to the world now. Just generating money in terms of idea from that now. And anyway, from now, I think they'll be dominating probably the world for coconut. What is our mainstay here? Come down to your state here. Our comparative advantage lies in cassava. We are probably the biggest producer in Nigeria, but what have we been making out of it? Do we get a standard, cassava starch industry here in our state? We don't. Why can't we just get somebody to come and establish that here? We have the cassava, process that so that we don't export raw. You add value. When you add value to whatever the agri produce, that is when you are making money. So all these things, we are going to do this, we are going to do that, we are going to do that. I'm tired of that. But what have you done? That is what the Minister of Foreign Affairs should be telling us. That is what the Minister of Trade should be telling us. Yes, these are the opportunity from outside. You farmers, go ahead and do this. Then we'll give you access to export. But of course, another mainstay of your state is yam. Do you know that most of our yams are not acceptable outside of the country? Why? Because we don't get phytosanitary laboratory, to make sure that the yams are free of yam, so that those people will not want you to import, the soil around the yam down to their country. So we can't get those simple laboratory here. So you send them to Ghana, which get one, and from Ghana they export to the world. It's a shame. How many laboratories do we get in Nigeria? Go and ask. So it's a whole lot of things. So doing government business, I think I think by now I'm getting tired of the politician, because I don't know how you'll be called to be
at once. Court blocks ex-NNPCL boss's account amid EFCC probe. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday ordered the temporary freezing of 4 bank accounts linked to the immediate past group chief executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, over allegations of fraud. Justice Emeka Nwite issued the order following an ex parte application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission counsel Ogechi Ujam, who told the court that investigations into the matter were still ongoing. The matter was adjourned to September 23rd for further proceedings. But that headline says court blocks ex-NNPCL boss account amid EFCC, says Wiki. He has denied claims by local contractors that his administration owes them 5.2 billion naira, insisting that the debt arose from contract irregularly awarded by civil servants without ministerial approval. Okay, we'll recall that on Monday, contractors staged a protest at the minister's gate, alleging that the FCT administration owes them 5.2 billion naira for executive project. But then, Wike's senior special assistant on public communications, Lero Lainka, countered the claims, noting that the minister had not awarded any new contract since assuming office and had already cleared a 10 billion naira backlog inherited from his predecessor. Corrupt civil servant awarded 5.2 billion naira contract without approval, says Wiki. So let's join these two together and let's move on to another statement from Wiki. So this court blocks ex-NNPCL boss's accounts amid EFCC probe, and of course corrupt civil servant awarded 5.2 billion naira contract without approval. How is this done? How is this possible?
Well, of course, I think of a kind of esoteric trial leading to the blockage of his account. Because at the time I learned that some people were protesting down in Abuja that we have to protest. I mean, this guy has to be investigated, but I'm not seriously aware of such investigation. So we are only hearing this, and of course it's a plus anyway. But of course I think it should be total. It's not himself that is working. Okay, I'd like some other guys around them too. I mean, efforts are going around them, but it shouldn't be that kind of undercover trial. It should be an open trial in the court. So people should get to know what is going on, because it's all about us. Why should he be treated differently?
All right.
So that is my position on that. So especially at the time when I can't remember easily the name of this particular senator that is chairing a committee that told us that up to about 210,000 trillion naira have been misappropriated under Kyari. So I think it deserves a kind of a celebrated trial. People must be well aware of it. It should be an open one. So that is that. Then on the issue of Wike, yes,
corrupt civil servant.
I want to say like politicians, like civil servants, like politicians, like bureaucrats, and one cannot steal outside of the other. They are partners in crime when it comes to fraudulent activities, because like a commissioner or a governor or a president, they don't sign checks. The people that sign checks are the civil servants. So though but those checks cannot be honored except there is a kind of mandate from either the president or the governor or the commissioner. So you can see that one cannot steal outside of the other. Now when you are not saying that bureaucrats awarded contrary contrary to the provisions of the constitution and the state laws, don't you know that there is a breakdown of law and order? Don't you see that there is a kind of lack of synergy in the administration? But of course, these people should go to court. One is established that it is the state that awarded the contract. They should be paid. And of course they did. If they see the job and if they investigated and see that they have done a job and they had a paper from the state, sign. Let's say who signed the. So now then the Wike and his team should now and his bureaucrat should now go to the table. Who among you awarded this? That one should be investigated, and whoever that perpetrator should be brought to book. But of course, if those jobs have been done in favor of the state, it should not be a charity. They should be paid.
All right, let's go on this break, and then when we come back, we'll open the phone lines to take your reactions, dear listeners. Thank you very much for staying with us.
Don't you give up. Don't you give up. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. It is imperative that parents prioritize education for the growth and future of their children by enrolling them to a school that can help develop their capacity and potentials.
I-FLIER provide a serene environment, accommodating reception, well-equipped laboratory for biology, physics and chemistry, fully furnished classrooms, counseling rooms, e-library, halls for conferences, institutions, standby generator, mini-mart, among others.
Yes!
I-FLIER International School
can boast of inspiring, captivating curriculum, academic excellence, social amenities and structures, as well as dedicated teachers who are more than ready to train your children academically and morally.
Admission is ongoing. Enroll your child to a primary and secondary classes today and enjoy the dividends of modern and quality education.
Join the high-flying team and visit us today at Unit 1 to 5, I-FLIER College Road, Ogungbade, IBADAN. For further inquiry, call 0815-815-8707
or 0805-331-6634. I-FLIER International School.
Nurturing I-FLIERs.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Let's open the phone lines at this point to take your reactions. Also on our Facebook page too. 0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I cannot hear you. Good morning. My name is Steve Dudley. I am calling from Okinwole, Egbeda. According to the poem, the war is too much with us. So and late, getting and spreading. What we see in nature is ours. See the people that we are placing to represent us. They are still talking about how their emolument or basic salary will be increased at the expense of people that are called voters. See, in Compra, the country we do meet anytime we go to do the voter regulation or to vote finally. See a return. The finally being what he is very matter in Yoruba land. He's not defeating himself by that name. No, he's now subjected to investigation. The beautiful war is not yet born. See, humanitarian ministry again. You won't deal with this, you won't do that one, and we have never got anything. You women, you need to be very serious because we can't you in time memorial to be in one kind of club.
I appreciate
to be
you.
see the way and manner you two you are representing, you are a token. And that people that I mentioned, they are talking represent you. You are.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
For looking. God bless you.
Thank you very
much. Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. How do you, sir?
I really like you for your brilliant analysis.
Thank you.
You are good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You are greatly needed.
Thank you, sir.
Your family of your will not inspire you.
Amen.
I have evangelist from the Bible. You see, it's quite unfortunate that we don't have ideological leaders. Our leaders are very lazy and lack of ideas. That is what is happening to Nigeria. Nigeria is very endowed in cultural industry, but we don't have leaders that have ideas. They are lazy. They are just concerning about their own pocket, and that's why they pass our money and go. God bless you, sir.
Amen.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, to you, Evangelist Shalata. Thank you very much for your comment. Remember, you can drop a comment on our Facebook page at I-FLIER 103.3 FM Live. At I-FLIER 103.3 FM Live. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is You also want to give kudos to the Imo State government for regulating the use of textbook in that state, because this one will save the parent, the body. Because there are some unserious publisher that will liaise with the school provider to change book at every section. Also, is this a yearly graduation from kindergarten to nursery, from nursery to primary, and we are polishing that state. People from JSS to
Ugwatin says good morning. All right, good morning to you. Aroni Yaya says good morning. Olaleke Olutoyin says good morning. Well done, ma. Thank you for your comment. All right, Olawumi Okparinde says good morning. More wisdom. I see a comment. Mr. Lokpadeyemi, well done, Honorable at DBC. Thank you. Lakunle Akamo says good morning, wonderful team. Well done. I-FLIER Radio is the best. Thank you very much. On River State local government election. Anyone objecting this is free to go to court instead of hitting the polity. God will guide our leaders right. Nigeria will be great again by God's grace. Amen. Thank you very much for your comment, sir. Pastor Dr. Mukala Famiwa says, Benga Daniel's suspension is in order. Oni and Oba Oyo should close ranks and settle their differences for the sake of people and for the sake of peace. Alright, thank you very much for your comment. I appreciate you. Alright, keep it coming in. Okay. 0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning.
good morning.
Good morning. Of this great nation, because Yoruba land is a great nation. We want unity of purpose, unity of development between them, and settle the issues amicably for the interest of Yoruba land. Thank you very much. For Comrade Fashion Isaka says good morning. Okay, Honorable, thank you very much. Ola Sinde Abib, I see your comments. Thank you very much. All right, let's pick this call. And let's see if we can take it.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, my bro, good morning, sir. 405 today, I can't forget.
My doctor.
On the issue of Alafi. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. we are together.
Yes. On the issue of Alafi and Oba of Ife, I think the two of them should just come together. But traditionally speaking, who is Oga among the two of them?
One solid reason that made them not to come back to that particular palace, made them to stay at the House of Oyo, and have the same purpose, the same throne, from different palaces. So if you are talking about Alaafin, the Afin is talking about is the Afin of Oduduwa in Ile-Ife, not his own Afin.
Okay.
So, but that history is people seem not to understand, but we get to unravel that very soon.
All right, because we have to pack our bags to leave the studio. It's 7:30 on the clock already. Thank you very much, Honorable Femi Adebisi, for your time.
My pleasure. Good
Thanks
morning.
to all our callers and listeners. We really appreciate you for being a part of Press Drive. Thanks for watching us live on our Facebook page.